Welcome to Loco Gringo, Mexico, the place where we transform a tourist into a traveler, because you deserve to see more of the world than just what's in a guidebook. Each week, we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only a local can, and get them to share their tips and insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So, pour yourself a margarita, grab a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Buenos dias, everybody. This is Loco Gringo, Mexico, and my name's Kay Walton. Thanks for joining us today. Well, we're going to be talking to a friend of mine who is in Cancun. He grew up on the west coast of Mexico, and he found that his heart lies here in the Mexican Caribbean. So he's going to share his story with us today, and some of the things he believes will give you a special connection to the area on your next visit. Well, this morning I have a great friend of mine. Man, I think we've been friends for about, must be almost 10 years, maybe 8 or 9 years. Iaax Page is a friend of mine in Cancun. He was born in Acapulco, and he made his way here to the Cancun Riviera Maya. Good morning.
Good morning, lovely. How are you?
I'm fine, babe. I'm so glad we got a chance to talk. Thanks for making time in your busy schedule.
Absolutely. There's always time for you.
Thanks. Hey, I wanted to, we've had dinner and cocktails and talked and so many times over the years, but I wanted you to tell our listeners how you managed to come. I know you were born in Acapulco, and how you found your way here to the Cancun Riviera Maya area.
That's a funny story. My parents got split when I was like 4 years old. That's not the fun part of the story, right? But when I was a young boy, probably, 12 years of age, I came to this place for the first time to vacation with my dad. And back in that day when I was 12, I used to think that Cancun was only the island and the place where my father used to live, that is over La Luna Avenue. It's a downtown section of homes here in Cancun. And I believe that was Cancun, right? And it was pretty much, because it was really, really small. When I got here, there was no Walmart, there was no Sam's Club. Hell, not even the avenue that gets you there was built. It was a lot of jungle. Taking a ride to the hotel zone, it was a joyride, because it took like probably 20 minutes to get there, and there was never traffic. You could see a lot of the sea from or the lagoon from the ride, and for me as a young kid, it was mesmerizing. I think is the word, because I immediately felt this magnetism, this attraction, this thing that told me you belong here. It was like I was under some sort of spell that I could not get rid of. And as I went home, before I went back home to my mom, my dad said, so if you like it so much, why don't you come to live here? And I was like, yes, I'm going to come live here. I said to my mom, the minute I got back to Acapulco, I need to leave. I'm going to be going to live with my father. 1 year later, I was here. I cannot explain. I cannot give you the words. But spending so much time looking at the lagoon, looking at the sea, looking at these white sandy beaches that we have here in Cancun, it changed me. It did something to me that I cannot. It got under my skin, like the Frank Sinatra song.
You're too young to remember Frank Sinatra.
No, but I love him.
True enough. So you so if you moved there, you're what? Probably 14 or 15?
I was 14. Yeah.
And so you finished school in Cancun?
Yes, that is correct. I attended school to become a software engineer. I'm a software engineer by trade, although I dropped out of the university like 1 year and a half before I finished because so many variables that I could not set under control. And I went to work as a receptionist in a hotel.
Have you found that being in the hospitality industry, that it was something that you naturally gravitated to? Were you able, so you could share your love of the area with people visiting, or was it just, something that just paid the rent?
A little bit of both. I believe that at the beginning it was that magic telling me to share the love for the city. I used to remember. I've been in and out of hospitality for the last. I've been here for almost 20 years. So at the beginning of my career, probably in the first 10 years, I've been in and out of hospitality for as long as I can remember, because I was gravitating towards my trade and towards what I just like. So I remember for every single time that I was in hospitality, facing people, I was always telling them what they needed to know, where they wanted to go, what is it that. Obviously, I always tend to gravitate to asking the right questions. What is it that you want from Cancun? What is it that you want from this experience of visiting Mexico? And some of the people that come here, they experience Mexico for the first time. So the idea is that we have. I thought I had the responsibility to let them know that Mexico is not just sunny beach, white sandy beaches and turquoise sea. That you could see a lot of small Mexican towns it's so rich. It's like we are 7 countries in one. I have to describe to them that we have mountains, we have rivers, we have all kinds of climate within our territory. But if they wanted to experience the real Mexico, one of the things that they have to do is go to Isla Mujeres, because Isla Mujeres is not like Cancun. Okay, it is. We have a lot of buildings and hotels and concrete and 5-star resorts, but there's a place there that is a lot like Playa del Carmen, Quinta Avenida, where you're gonna find Mexican old-style town and hacienda style buildings, and you can walk through there and you are immersed in this experience. Also, I tell them to go to the most important or the most famous park to watch the show, because it is a very, very nice show, and also the park is sensational. Always trying to get people to get the best out of it. And I don't know if I do this because when I go away, when I go to visit other places, I'm always asking questions like this. It's like, where should I go? And I remember the first time when I went to Chicago, I was even talking to everybody. Once I stopped the police officer to ask him for a tourism question or something like that, and that is just the way I behave. And I believe that in paying forward.
No, I agree. And it's interesting that you talk about communication and asking questions, because I had a similar conversation with one of our guests I spoke with yesterday. And, one of the biggest things that brings people together is communicating. And so when people come to Mexico, that they just need to ask, even if they don't know Spanish or don't have the words, is to start asking questions. There are some people there are people who speak English, but even in their bad Spanish, we certainly appreciate it. But to communicate and ask and to be curious And there's a lot to discover if you just have that curiosity and you take that step out to discover it for yourself.
Yeah, I know. It's because there's these all-inclusive hotels, right? Most of the people, I don't know, it was somewhere in the middle of this booming of the all-inclusive that people started to come to the hotel. They stay at the hotel all the time, and they miss so much. They already flew like I don't know how many miles to get here, and if they don't go out of the hotel, it's like they are missing a lot. And some people think that they have to spend a lot of money to get to know the place, and that is not the case. It's like one of my favorite joyrides when I really want to get away from well, not really get away, is like when I want to get out of the of what I always look at in the city. I like to go to Isla Mujeres because it's really easy to get there. Probably $10 ride. I don't even remember the price to get from Cancun to Isla Mujeres each ride. And you can walk for hours at Isla Mujeres, and there are beautiful things to see there, and small restaurants that are not really expensive. You can enjoy a really good pizza with I don't know how to say any of the shellfish, calamares and
Octopus or squid.
Exactly, all that kind of stuff. And in a pizza with a white wine in the middle of the street is like, oh, it's delicious. I'm hungry now.
No, I am too. Yeah, I haven't had breakfast yet. So, no, I think there's a lot of inexpensive ways people can really immerse themselves in the culture. And I think even just to walk around and ask questions, if it's to window shop, talk to some of the people who have tiendas, little stores, and look at some of their wares or what, the foods that they're serving, is that, to just be in their presence and to experience day-to-day life here in the area doesn't need to be a big expensive to do.
No, absolutely not. Besides, if you're staying in one of those hotels in the Riviera, probably they have transportation to Playa del Carmen and stuff like that, because they get people to shopping places. So you just have to ask the guy that in the front desk, I ask the bellboy, ask anybody in your hotel. They will tell you everything they know.
And that's one of the nice things I think that I've experienced. And I go to lots of hotels and vacation rentals and everything, is that I've found that the people the people that work in the area, not just you and I, but everybody who's there, whether they're a bellboy or a receptionist or a gardener, if you stop and ask, people want to share. They're very welcoming, and they want to share their passion and their love for the area and their personal insights. And it just needs to you can just ask anybody. You don't need to go to a concierge desk necessarily, although we do have one at Loco Gringo, so you can always ask Paulina. But really, everybody is so warm and welcoming that it's easy to get information, and people want to share, because from the people I've interacted with over the years, is that everyone is very proud of Mexico and the area, and they really want people to have an appreciation and love it as much as all of us do.
That is one of the things that I believe that gets really underrated. I don't know. I've been around Mexico lately. Because I like to not be in the same place for very long. But I have been in Querétaro and Guadalajara and several places lately. What I'm saying is, I believe that we underrate our quality of service very much. Because I go to these places and they don't have this culture of service. You experience it when you get into a restaurant, and and they don't treat you the same way that we treat people here in the Riviera Maya. It is different. It's not bad. It's just not as welcoming. It's just a job or something. I don't know. It's like they are missing this important thing because here in the Riviera Maya, the only thing that we have is tourism. This is our main industry. So we have a culture dedicated to tell people to treat the customer like is the best thing that has happened to you. So we are very welcoming, very open, very warm. We go out of our way to do stuff, and you feel it. You feel it in a restaurant, not every restaurant, but you feel it in a restaurant, in a hotel. You feel it on the street. I've seen people asking for the right directions here. They get more than what they ask for. People will take your picture in the street if you ask them and stuff like that. And I can see that in spots all over Mexico, but it is not as much as it is here. That's something that I believe that we take for granted because we're used to it. It's something that we have grown into. But as soon as you get out of the area and go to somewhere else, it is gone.
I have to ask you, since you have traveled a lot through Mexico, is that I know your heart belongs in the Cancun and Riviera Maya area, but are there any other spots in Mexico that kind of call out to you? I mean, that you can find that you still have a sense of some sort of magic there that in it, and you kind of always want to go back there or spend time at.
Yeah, it's difficult question. You remember at the beginning of this call or the beginning of this program, I was telling you that there was a certain spell that this city has over me. It has happened to me as well at Guadalajara. I believe that I find that you love a place when it is hard for you to leave. When you really don't want to leave the place where you are, that is something that you have to experience a little bit further. And Guadalajara, it happens to me every time, every single time I visit the place. It's like, I don't know, I have a special connection with the place too. Guadalajara is the second largest city in Mexico. It's located on the west side. It's called the West Pearl of Mexico. La Perla de Occidente le decimos. A lot of beautiful people, a lot of beautiful, lovely food, a lot of culture. It's the most Mexican. It is as Mexican as it gets, but it is also modern, and it is known for being the Mexican Silicon Valley. All technology companies are there. So I debate myself between Guadalajara and Cancun.
No, I'm sure I'm sure it would be a tough decision. I've never been to Guadalajara. I know a lot of people who speak very highly of it, so it's always on my list. But just like you, I find it hard to leave the Mexican Caribbean. It's a beautiful place, and there's this undefinable mystic magic spell that gets casted over you when you come to the area. So I want to find out, you talk about having that, that you get that sense of special connection, whether it's here in Cancun or when you go to Guadalajara. Do you have some places that are like your secret places that people, when they're here in the area, can visit that would help give them that special connection and feel that magic while they're
secret,
here?
Not so much probably, but yeah, definitely.
It's hard to have secrets
but
sometimes.
Besides, one because I always share the things that I love, and two because city is growing too much. So what you thought was hidden is not hidden anymore. But the idea is that, as I told you before, I love going to Isla Mujeres for the day. It's like my go-to place when I want to go to the beach or when I want to relax and have a nice meal by the sea or something like that. I always go to Isla Mujeres because it attracts me in that way. And the place where I will suggest you to go is Playa Norte. In Playa Norte, you're going to find beautiful places to just bring your towel, set it on the over the sand, and just be there. Watch people play on the ocean, swim, have a spectacular time. Obviously, you're gonna find tall palm trees over there that you're not gonna find in Cancun, and that's because we had several years ago, before my time, there was a infection in the palm trees in Cancun. Yellow something was called.
Yeah, it's a yellowing. It's I don't know. I always heard of it as being called the blight.
Yeah, I think so. The idea is that the palm trees here, they don't really grow that much because they are kind of infected. But in Isla Mujeres, in that section, you're going to find tall palm trees. The other place that I like is exactly also in Isla Mujeres, but is on the continental side. And it's a kind of secluded place to go still. So to go there, you're going to have to go to Punta Sam, and then keep going all the way through the north. You're gonna get to a terraceria road. How do you say terraceria in English?
I don't know. Like, you'll have to spell it because I don't know it. I don't know what it is in English.
It's a bumpy road. It's not.
It's not paved. It's a dirt road.
Exactly, a dirt road. That is going to take you all the way to the north of Isla Blanca. Isla Blanca is a beautiful section of beach just across Isla Mujeres, and you can see sunrises there that are out of this world. It's like, I remember one day, couple of us, me, girl that I was dating, and friends were staying at Capitan Morgan, and I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning, probably 5:30 a.m. in the morning. It was pitch black. You could see all of the stars, and I started just walking over the beach, and then I just seated over there, and I could see the sun rise, or the whole thing, and it was beautiful. It's something that connects you to the place because you have no electricity there. You have generators, but it's not all the electricity. So it's a beautiful place to visit and to get disconnected and to get in touch with Earth.
Yeah. Beautiful. And, the one thing I don't think people realize is, especially like Isla Blanca and the eastern tip of Isla Mujeres, is the first place that the sun rises and shines on Mexico every day of the whole country. It's the first point.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a man of the future right there, because the sunrise is hitting on you first.
Yep. If you're in Mexico, it's the first place it's going to hit you. It is towards Isla Blanca and Isla Mujeres. Any other little magical spots? Do you get down? Do you get down in the Riviera Maya at all?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, but in the Riviera Maya, obviously, I have a thing for Puerto Morelos. Puerto Morelos is lovely, but it is not secluded and it is not secret. Everybody knows Puerto Morelos nowadays. But definitely, there's a there are places in the middle of where is the lighthouse, where's the plazuela, the city square. That's really, really small. But there are small restaurants that are delicious over there. And John Gray still has a restaurant over there, as I remember. It's definitely the most visit if you can spare the time. And definitely walk over all the coast of Puerto Morelos. It's lovely. And I haven't been to Tulum lately, but definitely it's another of the places that I will recommend you to go. And also, there's a place that is lovely, and you can go to see turtles that is called Akumal.
I think I've heard of it.
I love turtles, baby.
Oh, I know. And it's, you're not the first person, obviously, to mention Puerto Morelos. And I think so many times in my experience, having lived in the Riviera Maya and the Akumal area for so many years, is that, we're always busy driving to Cancun or to the airport, and we're driving past Puerto Morelos going either north or south, but it was always a place that we pass by. And I think a lot of people who traditionally go to Playa, Akumal, Tulum is,
they miss it.
they miss it because they're on their way from the airport to their final destination, or they're coming back to the airport and they miss Puerto Morelos. But I think it's a wonderful day trip. If not, and it's become more and more, I don't know. I mean, it is quite magical. It is become quite magical, and there's some great restaurants. There's an Argentinian restaurant that I absolutely love there, and I think it's definitely a wonderful place. And it's still small and quaint, so it's not overwhelming, especially if it's people's first times into town. Playa del Carmen might be a little too much overload for a full week, but Puerto Morelos is still small enough for those who are really looking for a smaller type of Caribbean town to come and visit.
You know what I imagine Puerto Morelos is like I didn't live in the 50s, and I have never been to Malibu, but from pictures, I think from pictures that I've seen is like Puerto Morelos reminds me like the pictures I've seen of Malibu in the 50s.
I'll have to dig up some pictures. I'll have to Google Malibu in the 50s and check it out.
Yeah, and because when you walk by the beach over Puerto Morelos, you're gonna find a lot of casas, of casonas that are people that live there. They have really big houses. Some people don't even live there anymore, and they rent it out. They rent them out and stuff like that. But these houses, they are beautiful. They are. It's something that you have to walk through the beach and look at the beauty of these houses, and imagine yourself staying in one of these houses and looking at Puerto Morelos, at the Bay of Puerto Morelos, because since it has a coral reef over there, it's like a lake. There are never waves over there. So it's a beautiful place to go with the family because it's safe for children to be in the beach.
Yeah, great beach.
Yeah, absolutely. And you find a lot of people, locals and tourists, and you're gonna find everybody who likes this relaxing style, this small town life. You're going to find them there. A lot of people from here in Cancun, a lot of people that live in Playa del Carmen, and a lot of locals that they live in Puerto Morelos.
Yeah, it's an awesome place. Well, mi amor, I need to call an end to this interview, but I hope that you would consider next year, we're almost to 2017, that you would come back on the show and share some more of your adventures and discoveries in the magical world of Cancun and the Riviera Maya.
Absolutely. I will always love to come back to your show and to talk to you. It's my honor and my privilege.
So let me ask you this. I ask all of our guests, how can our listeners reach you if they want to ask you questions or get some more information or something like that? What's the best way that these guys can reach out to you?
I have a website and the Twitter account under my name, probably also a Facebook page that I don't, but don't use the Facebook page because I almost never respond because I forget. But if you tweet me or if you send me a message over the Iaaxpage.com or tweet me at Iaax Page. At Twitter at Iaax Page, I will always be available to answer any questions and.
Just have a great. Yeah. That would be great. And I'll make sure for everybody who wants to get in touch with Iaax, I will give you links. It will have links over from our show notes at locogringo.com/podcast. Links over to Facebook, Twitter, and Iaax's email address so you guys can reach out. And of course, if you can't track him down, you can always contact me, ask@locogringo.com, and I'll hook you guys up with him. So, alrighty, mi amor, you have a wonderful day, and I hope to talk to you again very soon.
You too, baby.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Well, a big muchas gracias to my friend Iaax for his time this morning. Great information. You can just hear the passion in his voice, how much he loves the area. And a big thanks to all of you for tuning in. One of the things some of you may not realize is that we have a website, locogringodirectory.com, and this is a directory of lots of services, everything from restaurants and car rentals to unique gift shops and all sorts of stuff. And so I invite you to visit that website. It's locogringodirectory.com. You're going to find great information from Cancun all the way down the coast of the Riviera Maya. And we also have a wonderful blog there. And I also let you know that site is for our concierge, and that is Paulina. She's our concierge, and please feel free to reach out to her. She is available to anyone and everyone to make sure that you have a fabulous experience on your visit to the area. Well, until next week, everybody. Hasta la vista.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana. Su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza. Pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca. Y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma. Croa, croa, dedos de agua. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma, croa, croa, dedos de agua.